Hi guys, welcome to another tutorial of MySQL InnoDB cluster. And after doing so many tutorial of building the cluster and monitoring the cluster and working out with the cluster, so today obviously building a cluster and working out with the cluster is not just enough. You already want to know that what if my cluster goes down, and what if someone delete certain data files of any database so any schema, then how I'm going to recover that. So obviously that's an important thing. So just like this code says, regardless of the recovering and provisioning methods, it is important to have proven backup and restore procedure. So that's what we are here today, and we will be working on how we can do the recovery process. And if you are new here and if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please subscribe, as I see 70% of my viewers are almost have subscribed. So please subscribe to the channel, and if you like the videos and if you like my work, then please like, subscribe and share. So let's go with the next tutorial, which is obviously the topic is MySQL InnoDB cluster recovering and provisioning. Not with provisioning mean to adding more nodes. So okay, so the first thing we will be here that what if our whole cluster goes down, then how we are going to bring it back. Just like I have a 3-node cluster and both of the 3 node goes down, and I assume that they are okay, but due to some power outage they went down, or due to some issue they went down, but I can bring them up and they will be like consistent, because my SQL take care of that redo logs and all that, so they can bring up consistent. So if any of one of them have the higher GTID set, that will be taken as the primary, and the rest of them will be synced to the primary. So that's how the outage work. Once all of them goes down, and when you bring them up, the primary is decided based on which one have the highest number of GTID set. Then node recovery, obviously, like what if one of the node goes down, and we assume that the node is okay, like there is no hardware issue and something, so how we can bring them up. And recovering and provisioning with MySQL dump. And let's say any user or any DBA or any system administrator can accidentally drop some of your data files from your schema, then how we are going to recover that. And node recovery, what I'm doing here is will be remove a node and then add a node. So we are assuming that that node went into some issues that it cannot be recovered, so we need to remove that, and after doing the changes, then we can add it back. So let's go continue with the practical. So obviously, just like I said, rebooting a whole system from the complete outage. So here I have these 3 servers, and I have shut them down just like this power off, and let's start them and let's see if we will be able to run the cluster or how we are going to do that. So let's start them one by one. They will be done in a few seconds because I have a very good machine. And let me start the other one as well. So my machines are almost up, and there is the first one. This third one is much more faster than the second one. Okay, so they are almost back, and we will see that what we can do here. This is my first node, and I think systemctl status, sorry guys, MySQL. So it's running. So obviously the cluster might come back, and let me log into another one as well. So what happened? Okay, so I think 105 is my second. No, it's not. I don't remember the IPs. It's been many days that I built this cluster. Okay, and it's divided into okay. Okay, so let's log into the MySQL cluster and okay, so this is how I log into the cluster, like providing the dash cluster, so it will automatically take the cluster. So if you do that, you will see that if you see here runtime error, this function is not available through a session to a standalone instance. So the metadata is this instance belong to that metadata, but group replication is not active. The reason behind that because the cluster went down and it's not starting up because we need to reboot the whole cluster using this cluster dot sorry, I need to log in to not to the cluster, but I need to log into the server using the shell, and then we will need to say the db.reboot cluster from complete outage, and this is gonna do the whole, this will reboot the whole cluster and it will add resync the metadata of each and every instance. And you will see that you say you would like to rejoin it to the cluster, and you say yes, and then MySQL 2 as well. And this is how it's going to take some time, not too much, but maybe in a minute or a few seconds. So you see MySQL 1 was restored and MySQL 2 like rejoining the cluster, and that's it. The cluster was successfully rebooted. And then now if you see, if you then back log into the cluster, voila, now you can see that use cluster the status, you can see the cluster, and if you see here the cluster is okay, all good. So that's how you can reboot the whole cluster from the complete outage. If it goes down, that is how you can restore the whole cluster. Okay, so let's say one of my node goes down, and let's say I'm taking down this systemctl. Okay, stop MySQL d. So if I stop the MySQL and let me show you the log as well, /var /log /MySQL. Okay, sorry. So if you see here, shutdown completed, and before that it's gonna group replication member change, and this member have left the group and the group replication has been stopped. You will see these things, and now if you see here the status has gone, it's not online, it's dead, you see here. And if I check the status now, I'm seeing that MySQL can't connect to MySQL server and it's been gone missing. So if you like this, now if I want to restart, and now I know that what I have used to do, like if I had to add some RAM and all that, I had some issue to solve the issue on the instance locally, then I believe that if MySQL was able to start, then we will be able to this will automatically add the cluster, the node to the cluster. So if I just start it, and if you see here, is missing state is back online. You see MySQL 2 is back online. The reason behind this, because first it will go to recovery stage. If there were a lot of transaction happening, then obviously like in 5 minutes, let's say around 100 MB redo has been generated, but there is we have done nothing, so that's why it went very fast to online stage. But from missing it goes to recovery. It takes some time to resync the whole all the GTIDs to the second node, this node which we adding. So that's take time. So that's how you can do it. If it's go down, all you need is to restart the node, and it will automatically be added to the cluster. Okay, so next we have here is let's say recovering and provisioning with MySQL dump. Okay, so let's say I am working on this node, and I think I need to remove some data here. I had some rm dump. I need to create it. Okay, and slash root documents dump. Okay, let's say let's go to MySQL data directory and we'll label and MySQL and then Maurice. I have this number of tables and I want to -rf static. So let's go, nothing is here, and let's say MySQL. So you will still be able to see the MySQL database if I say show databases. Okay, sorry, let's say I say use Maurice. Obviously it's there. I will say show tables, is still there. Okay, because MySQL 8 does not refresh the whole data dictionary, or you can say the information schema that fast. I think I don't remember the default, but it will take time. So you can check that what is the default like refreshing or rechecking, like rebuilding the whole schema. So this won't give you some error. If you do that, it might show you. But let's restart this, and if I restart MySQL this node, so you will see that it will, when I bring it back, it's gonna leave receiving shutdown from the user and completed, and it's coming back. But once it's come back, you will see some error, and let me show you here as well. Tail -100f /var /log /MySQL. Yes. So if you see here, the plugin online and okay, reported, and this report declares online with, but I think this they have taken him offline. If you check here, cluster dot status is still online, but let's do some insertion on the table. Okay, show databases. Okay, let's leave that. Let's do the automated direct. Okay, and let's say I want to enter this value, okay, into that table, and because when this value is replicated to the cluster, okay, the user I'm using, he is not allowed to the cluster. So let's log in with the root user and do the insertion. If you see here, it's been done, but here, okay, we saw some errors. You see here, this was the last time, and operating system error, file operation, and the error means that system cannot find the specific path. And you will see that I'm running a lot of error. Table space is missing because we dropped this T3, and the table, once the table is dropped, obviously table space is also gone, because MySQL I'm using the file like table space per file, and it's create its own table space whenever you create a table. And if you see here, the was automatically set into read-only mode after the error was detected, and the group replication member change, and this member has left a group. So now if you you will see here as well a lot of changes here. And let's get back to /JavaScript, and let me show you the cluster status. Okay, so now it's missing. It has taken out the cluster. It's missing. You won't see it. So now what we need to do is that we need to take the backup from let's say from the other secondary which have this backup, or we can take it from the one of our primary. So I'm taking the backup of my Maurice table, and if, let's say if I had any routines, events, and all that, flash privileges I'm adding, and log error, I will say that if any issue, you can do this var log, and you can dump it to MySQL dump.log. Even if this log is not available, it will create itself. So you can dump this error to this log as well. So that's how you create the error log, the log for your MySQL dump if you want to create. Okay, so and MySQL dump, and we will dump only the Maurice schema here, and let's dump the schema here. And okay, so it's here, I think what was the name, dump.sql. so let's say scp that. Okay, here this command here. Okay, so scp dump.sql, it's saying the Oracle is my password. And if I check here ll, okay, let's go to that location root / document. So here's my dump, just at the same 729, it's 729 is just here. And now we need to log into MySQL, and we will see here what to do. So first need to do is that we need to stop the group replication, then we will disable the binary log, so it does not create the binary log to like speed up the thing. And we will reset the master, reset the slave, and we will enable the updates. So currently you cannot do anything because this variable is on, so it won't let you do anything. If you see here, okay, here select edit. So if you see here is 1, and you cannot insert anything because this is super read only mode, you cannot do anything. So that's why we need to do some changes. So for that we need to like disable it. So then after that we will load our MySQL, and then we will rejoin the cluster to the cluster, then it will be working fine. Okay, so before that, let me do some insertion on the MySQL here. So because you might be saying that, okay, you have an old dump, so what about the transaction happened after the dump? So what we are going to do with that? So let me do some insertion here as well. If I tell you that select static from, okay, so first let's see what is the current condition. So select static from. So if you see here, these are the current transaction, current values we have, and let's do some more insertion. Currently, let's say that 1111, and okay, and let me do the insertion, and let's say 2222, and let's say 3333, and commit. If I select it, so now the values has changed, and let me see that we are gonna bring them as well or not. So okay, so this is done, and let's bring our MySQL node 2. Okay, so let's stop the group replication. You will see here that plugin group replication has been stopped and all these things. And let's set the binary logging to disabled, and that has been disabled. Reset the master, we will reset the master, and we will also clear the master info and relay log info repositories and delete all the relay logs. So that has been done, and let's enable the updates, and then let's take the source file, which is we are in the current same location. So it will, okay, we need to use Maurice because we need to create the database, because my dump does not have this use Maurice query. So now let's say source.dump.sql, and you see all the rows has been created. And if I show you here clone cd/var lib MySQL, okay, /Maurice. Okay, so now they are back. All the file has been created which we dropped before. If you see here, so it's been January 13, 733 and 733 here as well. So it's just been created right now. So this was the current date and time. Okay, so now that has been done, and let's rejoin the cluster. So you will use here that /cluster.rejoin instance, and the user which is the administrator of the cluster, and MySQL 2, the instance you want to add, and let's add this to the cluster. So here we already logged into the cluster, and let's rejoin it, and this will automatically rejoin your cluster, rejoining the instance. The instance was successfully added. And if you come here, you see here in the plugin, this server was declared online within the replication, and all the data has been brought here. You see here the master log position 4, and the changes we have done that has been brought here as well. So let's select static from here as well, and let me show you that it's here or not. So if you see here, same data is here, and these three were the transaction we did after the MySQL dump. So before we took the dump, and after that we did some insertion to check if this is going to bring it back or not. So the dump already know that because the MySQL already knows that this set of GTIDs has been shifted to the cluster, the other node, and these are not. So it will check automatically and do the recovery itself. It's called distributed mode recovery, and it will do it itself. So that's how you can do that. And then how we can remove or add a node, and this is very simple, and we will do it with the force. If anything is connected to the cluster, to that node, we will take it off. So this is the query. Okay, let me paste it again. And so now if you see here, I'm removing the MySQL node 2. You can do with the 3 as well. So if you see here, the node has been removed, and cluster dot status. Okay, so if you see here, we don't have that, and nothing is here. So before that, I would suggest that you should rescan the cluster, and it will update the cluster. Okay, then if you see here, the topology as well, you only have two nodes. One is MySQL 1, and then other one is MySQL 3, which is online as well. From here you can see online, and the rewrite mode is the same one. It's still the MySQL 1 is still the primary. If you see here, member removed from the group is MySQL 2, and group membership changed to MySQL 1 and MySQL 3, and so the cluster has been updated. And now if I want to add the node back, so that is done with the cluster.add instance InnoDB cluster MySQL 2 and 3306. So let's add that, and it's gonna do it himself. That has been done. So the node has been just added. If you check cluster described, MySQL 2 is back here, and if you want to status, and if you see here, MySQL 2 is online and it's working fine. Okay, you might have seen if you are creating the cluster, or you are just adding a new node. If you see here, MySQL B, MySQL total, and any movies.test. So you're saying that the use a storage engine that are not supported by this group cluster. So the following table use a storage engine that are not supported by this group application. So so this is a CSV, and this is if you see here, like this table, so I switch to SQL and show create table for this particular, and it's a MyISM, and group application does not allow you to use any other than InnoDB engine. So that's why it's not used here. So it's not, if you do any insertion into this, it will not be carry forwarded. You will run into errors. It will not allow you to do the insertion as well. So that's how you can do the recovery scenario. And we have some more recovery scenarios, like what if the whole what if you lose your configuration file, what if you use your persistent configuration file, and how we are going to recover that. So these will be done in the next tutorial. So until then, thank you so much guys for watching this tutorial. If you have liked this tutorial, please make sure to subscribe. If you're not doing that, that's not fair. Thank you.